Thank you very much. 34 minutes past the hour alongside Scott McCarron and Mark Carnevale. I'm Gary Williams, Champions Tuesday, and joining us now, the 2012 Price Cutter Charity Champion on the Web.com Tour, and that is Chris Wilson. Chris, good morning. Congratulations. And, you know, everyone says you're one of the smartest guys that plays professional golf. When you are going along and you're not playing very well, do you still feel really smart, like you're doing the right thing?
Well, first of all, I don't know who you're talking to telling me that I'm the smartest guy that plays professional golf. But, you know, it's one of those things where you have to believe in what you're doing, even if sometimes the results aren't showing themselves. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I just stuck to trying to get better each day at some of the smaller things. And the last few weeks I had seen some improvements. You know, like I said, maybe the scores weren't quite there, but I felt like each part of my game was getting a little bit better, and I was poised to break through, which I did last week.
Hey, Chris, it's Scott McCarron. You only made a couple cuts here before this win. You started working with Dr. Bob Rotella. What were some of the things that he helped you with to propel you to playing such great golf and winning last week?
Well, Dr. Bob was to his place in Virginia about 5 weeks ago before Utah, and we talked for a couple days. Mainly on my approach to putting, and we basically took a lot of the precision and trying to be too perfect out of it, and got to a point where I was just using my athleticism a lot more and using my feel and my gifts, I guess, to putt instead of trying to be too perfect on the greens, and it's kind of opened up my whole attitude towards putting. And I saw a few go in, which builds confidence. And when you have confidence on the greens, you know, that frees you up in your iron play and your driving and your short game. So it's just kind of a cyclical process where it starts from the hole back. But, you know, we talked a lot about that. And then we also just talked about simplifying my game overall and improving my self-image on the course.
Chris, Mark Carnevale here. Now, you were a member of the PGA Tour in 2010. Now, with the win last week, you moved up to 23rd on the Web.com list. How is your experience back in 2010 going to help you as you finish out this year and try to get in the top 25?
That's a good question. In 2010, you know, I didn't have any prior experience either on the Web.com Tour or the PGA Tour. I played 2 years on the NGA Hooters Tour at the time, and, you know, I don't think I was probably as well prepared as I should have been, obviously, to play the Tour, to not keep my card out there. But what I did is I proved to myself that I had enough talent to get there, and I think that was a big hurdle for me to get over. I feel like there's a looming question in the back of a lot of players' minds who hasn't been there. You know, am I good? Do I actually have the game? Am I talented enough to play at the highest level in golf? And that was a huge hurdle for me to get over. I qualified, you know, the toughest way possible through all 4 stages of tour school, and finished 12th at the finals, and you know, proved to myself that I had that ability to do that. So that's a big, like I said, a big hurdle, and that experience, I think, will, you know, put me ahead of where I need to be next time.
You know, Chris, going back to what Mark said, being out there on tour in 2010, you know, you start on the West Coast swing, and if you don't get off to a good start, then your number goes down, and it's harder to get into events. So here's the question. With the changes coming, what do you think is harder to do? Finish 126 on the money list as a rookie on the PGA Tour, or 25th on the Web.com Tour?
Well, that's a good question. You know, both places where you would finish require consistency over the season. I think if you've had Web.com experience, you know, obviously if you've had at least a year out here, you're more comfortable with it, and that makes it easier. Whereas if it's your first time on the PGA Tour, there are a lot of similarities between the tours, but there is a lot of differences, and the style of play between the tours differs slightly, in my opinion. I think out here on the Web.com, you have to make more birdies, and you have to shoot lower scores, as we've seen the last couple of weeks. And the PGA Tour, you can be a little more selective in your spots where you're going to be aggressive, and you have to be selective in your spots where you can go at flags and try to make those birdies. So I would say with some experience, probably the Web.com Tour might be slightly easier to finish in that top 25.
Well, Chris, congratulations. One last thing. You're a big Buckeye fan. You're a big Ohio sports fan. When the Buckeyes go to Ryan Field, are you letting down Pat Fitzgerald and you're actually rooting for the Buckeyes? over Northwestern.
Oh, man. You did it to me. I didn't know you were going to do that to me.
Well, Chris, I mean, come on now. You come on this program as a winner. I mean, show your goods here.
Yeah, I know. I'm a huge Northwestern fan. Went there. I love Northwestern. It's a great golf school. We had two guys, finish 1-2 last week with Scott Harrington, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and a huge Ohio State fan. I grew up an Ohio State fan, still am. So I'd have to say that I will probably get one of those jerseys that's cut down the middle and has purple on one side and red on the other.
No, I know it. Underneath that Northwestern jersey, you're a body painter, and it's, I guarantee you, it's Buckeye red. There's no doubt about it. I can tell by your voice. Congratulations, Chris. We look forward to hopefully chatting again. Great win for you.
All right, yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, you bet. There is Chris Wilson.